Yo, it's yo guys, what is good? What is good? What is good, guys? What is good? What is going on? How y'all doing today? How y'all feeling? Everything good? I know y'all just seen me yesterday and you probably like, yo, Persona, didn't we just see you yesterday? Why you here? Listen, I'm here because the PlayStation news is just coming. Yo, listen, guys. What is good? What is good, everybody? I appreciate everybody that is here right now. Round of applause to everybody here, man. Round of applause. I appreciate y'all, man. Hold on, can y'all can't hear a round of applause? Hold on, let's do it again. Let's do it again. I had the desktop audio muted. Let's do that again. Round of applause for everybody that's here right now. Yo, guys, what is good? How y'all feeling today? The tech demo. I'm a robot. He a robot. Who a robot? I sound like a robot right now. Let me know how I sound, guys. Am I clear? Do y'all hear a lot of background noise? What's up? Let me know how I sound. But yo, we got a lot of people. I sound weird? Oh no, I I had these settings. You know what? I might need to take these settings off. Hold on. Remove. Remove. Okay, close. How do I sound now? Do I sound better? I sound distant. Okay. I'm sounding a little. You sounding a little in an empty room. Is that better? Sounded very vocaloid. You good? Okay, I'm good. All right, cool. Anyway, guys. Ooh. I had man. Listen, Bari had threw some settings at me. I'm trying to play around with the noise settings, the noise cancellation on OBS. I think I had some settings messed up, so I'm gonna have to really sit down and play around with that because I was listening to the podcast yesterday and it sounded good, except for shout out to Paradox. If Paradox is here right now, listen, Paradox, you my boy, but damn, that mic was shitty. That mic definitely, when you first got here, that mic was definitely, it was hurting my ears. You feel me? But it sounded like I was kind of in an empty room. Like I heard a little bit of echo, not echo, but a little bit of like I wanted it to be like real solid. Like I'm big on like audio, and I'm big on providing you guys like the highest quality of podcast audio. So don't worry, guys. I got like a brand new audio mic with the I got the whole works. Things, trust me, guys, the audio is only going to get better. I promise. Trust me. But anyway, I want to say shout out to everybody here, man. Like I said, I appreciate everybody that's here right now. Jay Bari, Jamar, Cyber Dragon, Mr. Stealth himself, SAR0079, Buck Rogers, what time was Buck Rogers was here? Like 5:35. My boy said first. Respect. Buck Rogers, J767, Rollo God 981. What's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through. Sick Humor TV. Listen, Sick Humor TV is in the building. Wavy in the building. Who else is here? G Junior. Appreciate you coming through. Logical Nonsense. Logical be coming. He be like, meh. Shout out to Logical, man. Appreciate you coming through, bro. Who else is here? Iron Fist. What's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through. Caution. Appreciate you coming through. AI, Ralph. Who else is here? Yeah, I appreciate all y'all here right now, man. All the ones that lurk, that only listen, don't really type. Appreciate y'all as well. Yo, T-Mang Fu in the building. T-Mang, appreciate you coming through, man. Hope you guys enjoy the show. Let's sit back and relax. So what we talking about today? So I got to get this off my chest. Because yesterday I was talking about how I always expect the highest quality, and I expect whenever people say, keep your expectations in check, I'm like, my expectations is high because I expect nothing from greatness from these companies, these $1 million companies. I expect nothing from greatness. So my expectations was high. Jeff Keighley was hyping up this announcement today, saying you don't want to miss this. This is monumental. This is probably one of the most important things of the show. And I seen a lot of people on social media that disagreed. They were like, I don't really think this is that big, or a lot of people felt bamboozled. Now, I'm gonna keep it a stack with you guys. I kind of hoped it was the PS5 reveal, like as in the console reveal. Listen, I know. Why was I even thinking that? I know, Persona, you're foolish for even thinking that. I know, guys. I know. Cut me some slack. I was hoping it was the PS5 reveal. A part of me was hoping that. The other part of me knew it really wasn't going to be that, but a part of me did hope that that's what it was, right? So when it came to what we saw today, at first I was like, what is this? Unreal Engine, huh? Like, what are you talking about? Then I'm like, wait, hold on. Let me hear it out. Let me approach this with an open mind. Because, like I said, Jeff Keighley was hyping this up, right? So, the gamer part of me was like, all right, we about to see some gameplay. We about to see some brand new game announcement. It might be the PS5 reveal. It might be a dormant, especially what he said. What did he say Monday? What's a PlayStation game that you want to see come back or some shit like that? He asked that. And I'm like, shit, yo, you asking the right questions. You feel me? Like, you got me kind of interested. You feel what I'm saying? So, I'm sitting there and I'm like, are we about to get something like really PlayStation? I thought it was going to be like a Legend of Dragoon or a Legend of Dragoon reveal or a SOCOM or something like something crazy like that, right? So I'm glad I didn't take that bet, Sick. I would have lost mad breath. Yo, you know what's funny, Sick? I was going to bet Last of Us 2. Straight up. I was going to be like, yo, look, if you win, I'll buy your Last of Us and vice versa. Even though we both already got the game pre-ordered. You could have just took the $60 PSN and did whatever. So I'm glad I didn't take that bet, Sick, because, I don't know, man, $60. But, so, my expectations were high. When I saw the reveal, at first I'm like, all right, once I seen Epic, I kind of sort of clocked out because I thought they were going to show us like something brand new with Fortnite, because everything is all about Fortnite with Epic. So I'm thinking, Epic come on the screen, they about to show us Fortnite related. And I ain't gonna lie, guys, if they would have showed us something Fortnite related, I definitely would have been pissed. Like, yo, Jeff, you hyping up like this better not be what you talking about, the most important at the show, Fortnite. Get up out of here, man. Right? So I'm so glad it wasn't Fortnite. Man, listen, I am so glad, because that's where you would have heard me on social media pissed, right? So yo, Stardust, what's good, man? Appreciate you coming through, bro. Shout out to Stardust. So, it starts up. And, it's a tech demo for Unreal Engine 5, and it's showing off, the advancements with that engine and, what we can expect from next-gen games with developers that's using the Unreal Engine 5. Then they're talking about, hold on, that's not everything, guys. This is for the PS5. This is, they were showing the demo. The tech demo was running on PlayStation 5. Like, this was actual gameplay. This wasn't just like it is kind of sort of a glorified tech demo, but this is a glorified tech demo that we can run with this, because this is confirmed. This is like actually running on hardware. This isn't a simulation. Like, this is actually what you're seeing is actually running on the PlayStation 5. So if you were to play a game made in Unreal Engine 5, essentially this is how it would look. It's pretty much what they're saying on the PlayStation 5, right? So I'm like, oh, okay. So, my ears go up. I'm like, oh, let me pay attention. So, Persona, what are you talking about? For those that might be living under a rock, or for those that might be not know what I'm talking about, don't worry. If for those that are new here, Persona likes to give visuals. We definitely about to watch the tech demo. We ain't watching the interview, guys. Listen. We not watching the interview, because hell nah. Once is enough, maybe twice. But I'm not going to bore y'all with that. We going to watch the gameplay portion of it, hear what they have to say a little bit, and then I'm going to give my spin on, what all this means. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a tech guy, but I ain't one of these social media tech guys. I actually work in technology, but when it comes to game development, that's not really something that I'm 100% with. So, we're going to bring some people in here. They're going to give us, we'll open up the chat and just, I'm giving my perspective from a gamer's perspective, okay? I'm not here to tell you guys that this is better than, well, I'm only going to use what they say, and then I'm going to give my thoughts on what they say. But listen, I'm not going to sit here on this podcast and tell you about game development. Like, I'm not going to do that. But we are going to talk about what the developers say. So if what the developers say seems to kind of lean into, PlayStation being God tier, like we all know it is, I mean, I'm only going off what the developers tell me. You feel me? I'm good at comprehending. I'm good at, understanding. I pick up on things very quickly. So, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So let's watch the tech demo. You feel me? Very excited. Oh, hold on now, Jeff. You're moving a little too quick for me, boy. I'm trying to set this up. So, guys, sit back, relax, and you guys know how to do my reactions. We're gonna stop and talk about how we think it looks, and give me your thoughts in the chat too. How y'all think it looks, and what's y'all thoughts on all this. Don't worry, guys. I'm gonna open up the chat. We're gonna talk about it, but before y'all come into the chat, make sure y'all mics is on point, please. Please, please, please. Make sure y'all mics is good. But let's look at this. We're gonna talk about it. Cool. So, full screen. Are we good? Okay. Here we go. Here we go, guys. Yo, real quick too. Yo, I gotta give a big shout out to Jeff Keighley. His game awards be kind of off sometimes. Because they run long, they be boring as hell sometimes. But I really have to give it up for Jeff Keighley, man. Like Jeff Keighley, I really have a lot of respect for this man. Because he is really, like, this guy really does care about gaming, and he really cares about providing quality experiences for gamers. Like, he really, like, he's going above and beyond right now to bring this type of stuff to us, especially during the pandemic, during how things are right now, and still trying to put this together and, just to provide us, keep us informed and show us new things to keep us excited going through the summer and leading up to next gen and stuff like that. Yo, I really have to give it up to Jeff Keighley, man. So big shout out to Jeff Keighley. You are appreciated in this community. Trust and believe. You're definitely appreciated. But with that being said, let's look at this tech demo. This tech demo running on, what's that? PS5.
Hello, I'm Brian Karras, Technical Director of Graphics here at Epic Games.
Hi, I'm Jérôme Plateau, Art Director of the Special Project.
A few years ago, we got together as a team and brainstormed where we thought we could push forward the state-of-the-art in real-time graphics. There were two key areas that stood out. The first, dynamic global illumination. Beautiful bounce lighting instantaneously.
I don't have to be constrained to do a game where the world has to be static, and I'm able to iterate a lot faster.
And we call this new system Lumen. And we're about to show you what it is capable of. But first, there was another area that we thought we could push forward. Truly virtualized geometry. The artist wouldn't have to be concerned over poly counts, draw calls, or memory. Could directly use film quality apps.
What's funny? He mentions memory, right? And I know some people in the community was trying to say that the SSD that PlayStation has isn't going to make a big difference in game development, right? Guys, listen. I rather listen to I'm gonna say this all the time. I rather listen to Mark Cerny and actual developers on the screen than anybody else. Like, these guys are telling you what their visions are and what they see these consoles could be lacking, or where they can extend their reach and really make beautiful, awesome games. Let's continue. Also, stop listening to these social media texts. But anyway, let's continue.
Assets and bring them straight into the engine.
And that's a big deal for artists. I just want to be able to import my ZBrush model, my photogrammetry scan, my CAD data without wasting any time optimizing, creating LODs, or even lowering the quality to make it hit frame rate.
In the end, that's what it's all about. Art that just works. And we call this new technology Nanite. Here is the future of Unreal Engine running live on a PlayStation 5.
Awesome. Let's take a look at it.
This has to be the right way.
Before we continue, let's stop a moment and take a look at some of the key features of this demo. Much of what you see was built with Quixel Megascan assets, but instead of using the game versions, we used the cinematic versions, which would typically only be used in film. There are around 1 million triangles each, and thanks to virtual texturing, they all use 8K textures as well. Nanite can render an insane number of triangles very quickly. There are over 1 billion triangles of source geometry in each frame that Nanite crunches down losslessly to around 20 million drawn triangles. What does that many triangles look like? This isn't noise. These are the triangles, each a different color. Most are so small that they look like noise. Nanite achieves detail down to the pixel, which means triangles are often the size of pixels. This amount of geometric detail requires shadows to be pixel accurate as well, and Nanite can do that too.
So what I get from this is environments created in Unreal Engine 5 are going to be like pretty much photorealistic. Like this looks, if I was only looking at this and not like the character or whatever, this looks this look like somebody just, was in a cave and took a picture with a camera. Like it looks real. And, so I think with next gen in Unreal Engine 5, we're definitely going to be seeing much more realistic, much more crisp environments and rocks and shit. Like it's going to look good. So I like that. And I think the reason why they went with something like this, like with the caves and all that, is because to demonstrate like how, because, rocks and all that stuff, it's a lot of that shit. Like the whole thing is a cave, so I'm pretty sure a lot of that goes into the development process. But let's continue.
Speaking of lighting, all of the lighting in this demo is completely dynamic, with the power of Lumen that even includes multi-bounce global illumination. No light maps, no baking here. Without GI, all of that beautiful lighting is gone. With Lumen enabled, we can move the light and the bounce changes instantly. Okay, let's keep going.
Damn, that's actually pretty dope. So the lighting is dynamic. So depending on where the sun is, the reflection of the light is also gonna like be realistic with where the sun. That's pretty cool. I like that. That's pretty dope.
We've made some great additions to our audio system as well. Convolution reverb allows us to measure reverberation characteristics of real spaces, like actual caves that we sampled, and reproduce them in virtual spaces. Sound field rendering allows us to record and play back spatialized audio.
Now remember when Cerny was talking about Cerny was talking about the 3D audio and how they were putting a lot of thought and process into creating the most realistic audio for the PlayStation 5. Listen, if you playing on a surround sound or you playing on like surround sound headphones, whatever, it's gonna feel like you. I'm big on immersion when it comes to games, right? And the more game makes me feel like I'm in that world, the better. With things like this, like I can appreciate the time and thought process that goes into trying to recreate this environment and make you feel like you're there while you're playing the game. And the fact that PlayStation is also putting a lot of time and effort into creating upgraded audio for the PlayStation 5 with the 3D audio is really going to just enhance that experience and make that experience much, much more detailed and much more rich. Right? So I can definitely appreciate that.
All of this adds up to a more immersive experience. This swarm of bats was created with our Niagara effects system. Particles in Niagara can now talk to one another and understand their environment like never before. We've also added a ton of new functionality to run fluid simulations like you see in the water below. The demo runs on our chaos physics system. Here we are using it to accurately simulate the rigid bodies of the falling rocks and the cloth of her scarf. Now that the environment is so complex, we've needed to greatly improve our animation systems to adapt. We've added predictive foot placement and motion warping, which dynamically modifies IK and body position to look more natural. For the character to more realistically interact with the environment, we've added the ability to trigger seamless contextual animation events, like her hand on the door.
Sounds promising.
Dynamic GI is amazing, not just for speeding up iteration, but also for its impact on gameplay.
Nice
Any light
looks.
source can move while
It
still
might
having
be.
beautiful bounce lighting. Dynamic illumination means specular as well, which you can see on all the metal surfaces. You can even see the Niagara-powered bugs reacting to the light. Lumen not only reacts to moving light sources, but also changes in geometry. Remember we mentioned high poly assets? This statue was imported directly from ZBrush and is more than 33 million triangles. No baking of normal maps, no authored LODs. And we can do more than a single statue. There are nearly 500 of that exact statue at the same detail level placed in this room, for a total of over 16 billion triangles from statues alone. Over this entire demo, there are hundreds of billions of triangles.
That's pretty amazing, and I'm really amazed at the fact that they can have that many statues with that many polygons and things like that. But I think my question for him would be, like, if I was at a seminar or something like that and it was quite Q&A time, my question would be, these billions of what do you call it, nanites? I'm probably saying the wrong thing. Somebody in the chat will correct me. But these billion polygons or whatever that they're using to create these statues, I wonder if these types of, outside of creating this statue, can the AI also act in a more advanced way for it? So say if the statues say if you came into this room and the statues came alive, right? Say there's not 400 or whatever, but say there's, 100 statues and they all came alive. And obviously this is just a hypothetical, but if the statues all came alive and they all started to attack you, would the AI be smart enough to handle that many statues at the same time without messing up anything? I guess my question would be. Essentially my question is, I'm interested to see, with games being created on an Unreal Engine, how will the AI act in these games, especially with them clearly being able to create more within this engine. I'm curious to see how AI works. But let's continue.
So with Nanite, you have limitless geometry, and with Lumen, you have fully dynamic lighting and global illumination, all running on a PlayStation 5.
There's not much time left.
And this doesn't need to be constrained to small rooms. It can stretch all the way to the horizon.
Now this, when I first seen this earlier today, this was very, 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 very beautiful to see. When you look, like, the draw distance is, it's insane. Like, that's definitely dope. I'm really digging the aesthetic of this game quite a bit. So I'm intrigued. We know it's a tech demo and it's a controlled environment, but I'm really interested to see how developers take advantage of this, especially third-party developers. I'm really interested to see how they take advantage, and we'll talk about that, like, once we're done here, because I got the Eurogamer article. So yeah, let's continue.
The portal, it's open. Don't fail me now.
All right, wait a second. All right, I gotta pause. I gotta go back. Wait. Wait. So guys, I gotta ask this question. Did anybody else get Game of Thrones vibes when she fell down, when she, like, fell over like that? They remind you of what was the second king of the one that killed himself? Cause as much as I've watched Game of Thrones, I can't think of the characters' names right now. Jesus Christ. What is the queen mother, the one that blew up the church, killed all the church people. My Game of Thrones knowledge is so bad right now. I know Game of Thrones. I watched the hell out of it. I just can't think of the names right now. But remember the second king, her second son, after Joffrey got killed, right? And the second son, the younger one, became the king. Remember when he was standing on the ledge, and when he found out that his girl got killed in the explosion, he killed himself? When I was watching this earlier, I got those same vibes here. The way she fell, I'm like, yo, that's straight up Game of Thrones. Anyway, let's continue. Now, I think the reason why they're showing this part, and I think this part is very important, and why they showed it at the end, because normally when games start to get, one of the things that PlayStation was talking about was, especially when they were showing a demo for Spider-Man on PlayStation 5 hardware, they were showing that they said that with the PlayStation 4, the hard drive couldn't keep up with how fast Spider-Man could swing in the world and keep the world loaded, etc., etc. So they did put a limit. Even though you could swing really fast in Spider-Man, there was a limit to how fast you could swing because of the hard drive having to keep up. I think here, showing how fast she's going, showing everything falling and all these different things, and a lot of things happening in this vast environment, I think is very important, because I think it highlights how great the SSD for the PlayStation 5 really is going to be. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at this like, it's amazing. You feel me? Like, just to see how fast she's moving, everything else that's happening in the background, and there's no hitch. It's instantaneous. Everything is. So I think it's very important that they're showing this part to you, because I think a lot of people are still skeptical with how important the SSD upgrade is going to be in the PlayStation 5 and how important it's going to be to gaming. So my interpretation from seeing this portion of the tech demo was to display how fast the SSD is and how capable it is with keeping up with the development and what they were trying to do with this specific scene of having her move extremely fast to get to her waypoint, but also still having everything in the background happening as it would, different buildings, rocks and things like that being destroyed, falling, her maneuvering and things like that, and there's no hitch. Everything is instantaneous. It just keeps going, keeps moving, keeps going, keeps moving. That is, like, guys, ladies and gentlemen, that is very, very important. And I think this is why Mark Cerny, during his speech earlier this year, was highlighting that innovation with the SSD. And I also think this is why a lot of other developers were saying that the SSD is really going to be a game changer this next generation. We see it here. Just look how fast she's moving.
Time to see what's next.
Unreal Engine 5, guys. Ooh-wee! That's Unreal Engine 5? Wow. Coming 2021. Okay.
There you go. The Unreal.
All right, that's enough from you. Yo, that was. I'm not gonna lie. I've watched that maybe 2 or 3 times, and each time I'm just in awe of how great how great it is. It's insane. So again, my takeaways from the tech demo is that it really is I think like this is next gen. I'm trying to be like real. You know what? Nah, I'm about to speak from the heart. Shout out to Jay Barry, man. I'm about to speak from the heart. Yo, this is next gen, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, this is next gen. Again, this is a tech demo, and I know a lot of people are going to use that to say, oh, well, Persona, is this a game? Is this a demo? What is this? I can't play this. The developers have already said that this is running on the PS. This isn't like a simulation, ladies and gentlemen. This is the PlayStation 5 running this demo. Now, granted, it's not a game that's in development, but this specific demo was developed within the PlayStation 5 environment to display just how amazing not only the Unreal Engine 5, but also to display the capabilities of the PS5. You feel what I'm saying? And I have to say it, guys. I know some of y'all gonna get angry, but I gotta speak from the heart. The fact that this got me more hyped than Inside Xbox last week. Guys, how is this possible? How is this possible? I'll tell you why. Because it's PlayStation 5. And PlayStation 5 is magic, baby. Anyway, so the tech demo I think is really beautiful. I do think the game I'm gonna keep referring to a game, but y'all know what I mean. I mean the tech demo. The tech demo was very beautiful. I do like how they really did demonstrate. And it's funny too. You know why it's so funny? Because a lot of people, they like to say, oh, I'm a tech guy. Oh, I'm into technology. It's the same thing with the whole Mark Cerny thing, right? People want to argue specs all over social media. People want to argue, oh, no, this isn't going to do this. Oh, the SSD isn't going to do this. It's not going to do that. Oh, the GPU. Oh, the CPU. Oh, smart shit. Oh. Everyone is always arguing about this stuff on social media, right? But then when we get demonstrations like this, no one wants to watch it. No one wants to hear this. And I'm like, they're explaining to you why the PlayStation 5 is greatness. They're explaining to you, and no one wants to hear it. It's like, guys, what do you want to, I mean, I get it. We all want to see the PS5. We all are fiending for it right now. But I'll take what I can get. And right now, I'm very happy with this. I am very happy with this just because now we have a visual of what to expect from next gen. Not that Inside Xbox stuff. No. Stop it, guys. No. This is next gen, ladies and gentlemen. This is something to get excited about, right? Because it opens up the possibilities of what's to come. And you know what's funny, guys? This isn't even an exclusive development team showing you how good games can potentially look on the PlayStation 5. Could you imagine? You know what I was thinking too? When they were talking about the polygon counts and all that stuff and the 30 million or however many they say it was. Well, you know what I was thinking? Imagine, because you know God of War is so and I'm talking the old school God of War games, because the troll in God of War, this new one, wasn't really that big. But remember the old school God of War games where you fought Poseidon and you fought like that big water form of Poseidon, or when you fought the was it a dragon? I think you fought in 2. I forget which opening enemy you fought in 2. But or was it a statue? I remember one of them you fought like this big ass statue or something like that. But what I'm trying to say is, could you imagine God of War 2 on a PlayStation 5 created? It was Hades, right? Was it Hades, Pitch? Thank you, Pitch. It was Hades. It was one or two. Shout out to the chat, man. Y'all, chat got my back, man. Like, yo, round of applause to the chat, man. I love the chat so much, man. Y'all so awesome, man. Y'all always got my back, and I always gonna appreciate y'all. Anyway, could you imagine that being created and like in that type of environment and like recreating those type of fights, or even again with God of War 2, right? That's coming, that's in that, no doubt coming to the PlayStation 5, and that's gonna be made for the PS5. Could you imagine just how great those fights are gonna be? How monumental, how much bigger boss fights are going to be. And those are the things, the tech demo is great. Showing us what the possibilities are is so great. I love it. Now, my next focus, because now we got this, right? My next focus is I want to see what developers are going to do with this. Because now we're getting in the realm where with Unreal Engine 5, they're making it easier for developers to load assets or transfer assets at the highest quality and not have to worry about using the lowest common denominator aspect. Instead, you start from the top and work your way down, because with Unreal Engine 5, it works as, you can start at the top and then it's gonna translate, and it's gonna work just as effectively from PS5 and other next-gen consoles to the highest-end PC, all the way down to a Switch. You feel me? That's where I think it's very important, right? And that's where I think we also need to understand or appreciate the fact that the fact that they're giving developers this type of ability to, this freedom to create in this environment and make it a lot easier for them to create, taking time, cutting development time, which, is definitely going to make it a lot easier for developers. So we might start seeing games getting pushed out quicker, no more 4 to 5 year cycles, maybe 2 to 3, especially if you already got the assets created and you just need to load it up and just, push it on in. That's I'm fine with a 2 to 3 year development cycle, because what did PlayStation say? PlayStation said they're trying to ramp up development of these games and start pushing games out much quicker next gen. That is what they said. And I think any partners that they work with have to be on that same level and have that same ideology of trying to. 3 main things that I take from, and this Epic thing might not necessarily be a partnership. I don't know what to call this Epic PlayStation 5 thing yet. I think we need more information. It might be a partnership. I could be wrong. It might not be a partnership, but I'm going to call it a partnership just for right now, because we know that the whole AMD thing is a partnership. So I'm going to call this whole Epic Unreal Engine 5 a partnership. And again, for anybody that may watch this now or later, you can correct me. Sony, you're wrong. It's not a partnership. You don't know what you're talking about. But relax. Okay. Anyway, with this partnership, I think the ideologies with the people that PlayStation is trying to work with, again, with AMD, we saw that with AMD, PlayStation was trying to not just take AMD's technology and throw it into their console. We saw that they were trying to innovate and create something new with AMD And that was that partnership and trying to provide, again, faster load times, trying to provide easier ways to develop, easier ways to experience games, making everything seamless and things like that. So we see that with AMD and PlayStation. When you look at Unreal Engine 5 and PlayStation, what do you see? You see ease of use when it comes to development. You see speed. Speed is definitely going to be like at the epicenter of all this next generation. And right now, PlayStation is the king. They're the ones that's innovating on the speed of these consoles and innovating on the ability for developers to quickly create their games, but also efficiently create their games. And the console itself, from what we know so far, with Sony, with CERN, with not Sony, CERN, well, it is Sony, but what Mark Cerny said, and what we can gather from this Unreal Engine tech demo is that making the workload a lot easier for developers next generation is definitely a big push for PlayStation and realistically for Unreal Engine 5, which I think is also very good, because what's one thing that people in this community like to complain about? Oh, well, developers are crunching, working long hours, blah, 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 which, we're not going to get into that whole part of the conversation, but that is something that is a big problem within that. Well, that is something that a lot of people have a big problem with when it comes to game development. Even developers themselves have said that, crunch time and all these other things. So if a console and different engines and things like that are coming out to make the development process a lot easier, a lot more efficient, a lot faster, especially with what PlayStation has said they're doing with their console, with the Smart Shift, and making everything pretty much ease of use on the developer. So pretty much the console is going to do majority of the work. The developer just needs to load up the assets, blah, blah, blah. And obviously I'm speaking, in layman's terms. I'm not really speaking in the technical jargon that they like to speak, but we can see that the ease of use with the PlayStation 5 and this Unreal Engine 5 is going to make it a lot easier for developers to create their games and also create things more efficiently and more quickly. What does that mean for developers? Less developers being overworked, maybe. We need to see how it pans out. Less developers being, working long hours, being stressed, having to worry about, especially with this Unreal Engine 5, being able to load your assets and then just, it works, at its top quality for everything. That's ease of use. That's really ease of use. And I can see a lot of developers, especially with the way that PlayStation is speaking right now with what they want the developers to do with the console, and the thought and care and process that has went into the creation of the PS5. And now we see what Unreal Engine is trying to do. Unreal Engine 5 is trying to do with the game development. I think it's really safe to say that PlayStation is really putting the developer first when it comes to the creation of the console and the ease of use. And this is very important, guys. And, this is not no fanboy thing. I'm only speaking from a perspective of having to develop things, right? If a console is going to be easier to develop for, easier to work with, and it has the fan base, where are the developers going to go? Yo, Harry Tran, what's good, bro? Appreciate you coming through. Social Jones, what's good, man? Appreciate you coming through. They really are building this console with the developer in mind, and I think that's really important, and I think we need to pay attention to that as we move further into this year and as we get closer to next generation. Because, again, if games are going to be easier to create and coming out a lot faster, PlayStation is going to be the it console, man. And that's why I put on social media earlier on Twitter. I see what PlayStation's doing. They're the moves that they're making are very strategic and it's very calculated, right? And I'm picking up on it because they're letting the developers themselves do the talking. Because as much as we all appreciate PlayStation is still $1 billion company that just want people's money, right? Let's all be real here, right? So what better way than somebody that's within the community that's also a developer? What better way than to let other developers know, hey, look, this console is really gonna be the shit. You might want to get on. You might want to get on this. You feel me? They letting developers talk for them. It's crazy. Man, yo, I'm like really excited. I'm really excited. But I'm about to open up the chat. I want to hear what y'all got to say. So, chat's open. Come on through, guys. Let's talk about this tech demo. Let's talk about how great how great or how bored were you? Yo, we got Sarge0079 in the building. Yo, Sarge, what's good, bro?
Oh, nothing much, brother. Nothing much. Oh,
Appreciate you
just
coming
had
through.
to be out in the shit today, as usual.
And you guys know Sarge is definitely like he a PC, he a console, he a PlayStation guy, but he also a PC guy. And he definitely he about to break it down for us, and I'm very excited about this. So Sarge, break it down for us, man. What's your thoughts on the tech demo? Coming from a PC perspective too, like give us the PC console perspective and how you think developers are gonna really take advantage of this. Break it down for us, man.
Hold on 1 second.
Uh-oh. But
All right.
oh, there you go.
So, first off, I would definitely like to say that was a very beautiful demo. I was at work doing paperwork, and I'm sitting there on my Razr phone, and I was like, okay, let me catch it while I'm doing paperwork in the break room anyway. And I watched it there, and I was like, holy shit, what the fuck is this? And then, it kept going. I was like, yeah. And this is the one key thing I don't think a lot of people paid attention to at the beginning. 8K textures on movie level assets.
Mm-hmm.
Again, 8K textures on movie level assets. So immediately when I heard that, I was like, okay, this ain't gonna be running nowhere near 30. But if they can do this on a PlayStation 5, or I should say nowhere near 60, and if they can run it on the PlayStation 5, and they're running this, and they said we didn't use the game asset, we used the movie level assets. So what happens when you use the the game level assets?
So do
You
think something like this can achieve a 60 frames per second thing?
Yes.
Something of this caliber? Okay.
Yes, I believe it can. Just because you're telling me that it can do 1440p at 30 frames a second with movie level assets and 8K textures with global illumination, so you don't need fucking ray tracing, even though everybody's crying about where's the ray tracing. You don't need it if you got global illumination, you fucking dumbasses. That's the whole point. Like, global illumination does everything that ray tracing does. A lot of people just don't use it.
Yeah.
So, if everything is scalable, there's no more excuses on the dev side about, oh, we couldn't get it to hit 60. If you're using Unreal and you're still making that excuse, then something is wrong, or you're just trying to push everything to 8K.
So let me ask you a question then. Is it if a game using Unreal Engine 5 doesn't hit 60 frames, is it the engine's fault? Is it the console's fault, or is it the developer's fault? And I'm only speaking 60 frames. I'm not saying 4K 60 because we know even PCs struggle with that. What I'm speaking on is if we have to put a resolution to it, let's say 1440p 60 frames, right? If using the Unreal Engine 5 and knowing what we know now with how they're working with it, can we say that if 60 frames per second can't be achieved on a PS5, that it's the PS5's fault, the engine's fault, or the developer's fault?
Nope, I'm going strictly with the dev on this one.
All right, tell us why.
The reason why they literally showed you something movie quality that we're not supposed to be gaming on anyway. Just to show what a PS5 can do, they showed you movie quality for no damn reason other than to present Unreal Engine 5.
Okay.
Devs are not going to be going movie. They'll go movie like, but they're not going movie quality assets. You have to think about this. When he said you had 500 of the same statue in that one scene,
Mm-hmm.
with as many triangles that they were producing at that one time, and it was gameplay. The only people that I could see doing this, and I think back, and I thought about this when I was driving home. You know that game Hidden Agenda?
Yeah.
That's the only game that I could think that they would do something stupid like that just to get damn near. Or, I ain't gonna say damn near, actually to the level of a TV production in a game just to
Mm.
tell a story.
Mm.
But
Let me.
for anything like, say, because we all know Days Gone runs on Unreal.
Yo, could you imagine if Days Gone was on UE5? Ooh, we.
Exactly.
And it's funny
They
because
already look.
Days
They
Gone had a
already
lot of
got.
technical problems. It did.
They are. They already got the assets,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they already said you could port the assets right into UE5.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what do you think happens if they want to make a Days Gone too?
It's gonna be a bigger scale. I'm excited for that.
It's gonna be a bigger scale.
Let me
They're gonna.
hold on. Let me get Chris on
Okay,
the second here.
go.
Yo, Chris, Righteous in the building. We got Sick Humor in the building. Yo, y'all introduce yourselves to the chat.
Yo, what's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Chris Righteous, man. Yo, it's been a very eventful day. I've been laughing my ass off all day
Pure
and just
comedy.
watching people, yeah, just watching people expose themselves and run around with their chicken's head cut off. You know what I mean? A lot of these Xbox and these PC dudes is going around. It's just been funny all day, man.
Yeah. Yo, Sick, introduce yourself, bro.
Hi guys, my name is Sick Humor TV, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you, Persona, for having me.
This motherfucker on his Mark Cerny.
Oh god. All right, so we gonna start. Cause I know Sick. I was watching Sick's live reactions earlier, so I know he got quite a bit to say. So we gonna start with you, Chris. Give us your thoughts on the tech demo. What you thought about it? What you think about what the developers were saying, and how does this make you feel about the PlayStation 5 and that SSD? Ooh.
Well, I wasn't really mad at it. I mean, I was kind of going off of what like Jeff Keighley and like other people were saying like yesterday on Twitter and stuff, like how they were hyping this event. I thought we were gonna get some type of new game announcement, right? So when I thought it was gonna be, like a PS1 classic returning, which could still happen, you know what I mean, later on. But I thought that this was gonna be that about. But when they came on and they showed the tech demo, and then I was listening to the actual developers, right, the actual engineers of this engine, right, who know what they're talking about. Um, Yo, that demo looked very, very impressive, man. The only thing that I'm upset about is that it's not going to be an actual game, or that's what they're saying. You know what I mean? That it's not going to be an actual game, because I would like to play that game that they showed. So yeah, and the thing is, it's like, okay, so some people are downplaying it. Well, is this a tech demo? Is this a tech demo? Whatever. But the difference between this tech demo and all the other tech demos that we've seen before, like all the Unreal Engine tech, because every generation we get new Unreal Engine tech demos every single time, right before a new generation starts.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is this one was an actual playable tech demo running on a PlayStation 5 dev kit.
Mm-hmm.
So this isn't no optimized for the PlayStation 5, or just how it could run on the PlayStation 5, right? Like what we saw last week with all the games that was shown on the inside Xbox, was all the disclaimers and everything saying like this how possibly it can look on the Series X. No, this was actual factual footage of an actual game demo being played on the PlayStation 5, right? With real actual gameplay. So this isn't something that's like targeted or anything like that, which is super impressive. You know what I mean? All the other stuff they were talking about, a bunch of triangles and a trillion triangles and stuff like that. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but if they had, yeah, hey, if they like it, I love it. You know what I mean? If
Yeah,
they
yeah,
happy
yeah.
for it, I'm happy too. As a consumer. But what really impressed me was the lighting, right? Because for them to be able to achieve that level of lighting and then not be ray tracing, right? Or at least I think it wasn't ray tracing, correct?
Say it again. No,
It
no,
was
Ray.
indeed ray tracing.
It
Global
was Ray.
illumination.
Nation.
Global illumination is an advanced form of ray tracing, bruh.
Oh, okay, okay.
Advanced form.
I, I,
Let me get my teacup real quick.
hey, that's not what I heard, right? That's not what I heard. I heard from these experts that it was that global illumination is fake ray tracing. That's
Ooh
what they
wee.
told
Ooh
me.
wee.
That's what they told me.
Uh huh. Yeah.
But but yeah, man, just the lighting and everything, it was a very impressive. Like I said, this is, and one thing I want to point out is John Linneman for Digital Foundry said on Twitter that we already, because do y'all remember like the elemental tech demo of the Unreal Engine 4? Like it was literally right before the PS4 came out.
Okay.
That okay, so he said that we already there's already some games, right? And the examples that he used was like God of War and even The Last of Us 2 that's coming out has already surpassed that tech demo. So it's gonna be another instance where it's like this tech demo already looks next gen and already looks like a leap and very impressive. So later on in the generation, right, like mid generation or something like that, we're
Mhm.
gonna see games that like surpasses that, and it's gonna look way more impressive than what we see today. So I'm excited for that.
Mm.
I put a link in the chat if you guys want to open that up and read that when you have some spare time. This comes from the
Which chat you put it?
University
Oh, I
of
see it. Okay. I see
the
it.
University of North Florida, Digital Commons, and yeah,
Let me
this
show
is
it on the thing.
actual and factual. I'm not talking about niggas who barely made it out of high school. No, I'm not speaking of those guys. I'm not talking about fake tech experts that sit on fucking YouTube all day and talk about shit that they don't know nothing about.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the Google
Yes.
techs. That's what I call them. I call them
yeah.
the Google
Google
tech experts.
text.
Not because
Uh,
that's what they do. They Google this information and then they assume that they know what they're talking about because they can Google the information.
yeah.
But in reality, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So, but overall, man, very impressive, very excited. I'm excited that the games that are being worked on Unreal Engine 4 right now can be can be transferred easily to the Unreal Engine 5. At least that's what they said. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
and with each iteration of the Unreal Engine, from what I hear, makes development a lot easier. So this has me thinking of like Final Fantasy 7 Part 2, which the Part 1 is using Unreal Engine 4. So them transferring that to Unreal Engine 5, that game is probably going to be looking crazy. The development time is probably going to be lessened or anything like that. That's what I'm really excited for. It's like having more detailed and expansive worlds, but at the same time being so easy to develop that it's going to take developers less time to develop these worlds than what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
So
Yo, sick.
yeah,
You
yeah,
got the floor, bro. Cause you, I want to hear your thoughts. I want you to break it down for the people, and really give us your thoughts on three things. Right. I want you to give your thoughts on Summerfest so far in terms of how Keeley was hyping this up and if it met your
Trash.
expectations. I want you to give me your thoughts on the tech demo, and I want you to give me your thoughts on what they were talking about with the PS5 and all that stuff, and just give me your interpretation of what you saw today and how you feel moving forward about next gen.
I'm gonna make this so easy, so simple, and so not long-winded. Y'all niggas should have listened to Mark Cerny when that nigga was talking. I don't know how else better to explain it. I'm not going into detail for you niggas. Mark Cerny got an hour-long video where he sat and talked to you about what the fuck he was going to do with the PlayStation 5, and the Unreal Engine 5 brought that to reality.
Yeah.
Nothing more to be said. As far as Games Fest or Summer Fest, trash. Thus far,
Man.
it's not. It's trash. Don't get me wrong. Look, I'm happy for the tech demo. Also, I do believe that is a real game that they're working on. I don't think that that's just simply going to be a tech demo. It
Yeah, they
had
put too
button
much
prompts.
into that.
Yeah, I hope so, man.
Yeah, it had button prompts in there. If you looked, it had the jump button prompt for the X button, and it had the interact button prompt for triangle when he was near the statues.
That might have been. I feel like that might have been put there just to show that this is PS5, maybe. But
Why? They've already said that at the beginning, at the start of the conversation. They said running in real time on the PlayStation 5.
And Mark Cerny said that PlayStation 5 is RDNA 2, and people still don't believe it. So it's like, yo.
Oh yeah, no, they got these tech experts, right, saying that it's not full RDNA 2 because Sony hasn't confirmed that there's no like VRS, like that variable rate shaders or whatever. I don't even know what they're talking about, but then somebody came out and said it was like RDNA 2 comes with all those features by default. They don't have to confirm it because it's already there by default. But, you know what I mean? Like,
didn't Lisa Sun soon also confirm that too?
She confirmed that today.
Yeah,
she literally the fucking CEO of Apple.
No, AMD.
Gosh, I'm so glad to see what you guys are doing with RDNA 2
AMD
at Epic Games.
You mean AMD?
I mean, that's Apple. What I mean. Who the fuck did I say?
You said
Apple.
You said Apple.
You said Apple. You meant
you know
AMD.
why? I'm gonna tell you why. Because I was looking at this fucking Mac laptop that I was thinking about getting. I don't think I'm gonna get it though.
I'm trying to hold off too.
It's $28.99, and I was like, yo, I might as well just go and cop this joint. Because I feel like that's kind of cheap. I've seen fucking Apple computers like $5,000, but that shit's still kind of on my mind.
Once you start like adding things to it, that's when you're gonna see that $5,000 price tag. Trust me, that's that. If you see $28.99, that's the base price for whatever they offering you.
Nah, it's not a tower. It's just the laptop.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The laptop. You talk about the Mac Pro 2020.
Oh yeah. Okay,
that's the
you're
base
right.
price.
You're right.
Yeah. I would. But
I think I'm gonna cop that joint. Like I've never had Apple products and shit like that because I just felt like they were just overly priced for absolutely no reason. But I've seen a few things that got me a little
sick. I'm gonna tell you this, man, and heed my warning. Hear me well, bro. I used to be a hardcore Android guy, like almost 10 years ago. Nah, like probably like 7-8 years ago, right? I bought my first iPhone because one of my boys was like, oh, iPhone's better. So I said, you know what? It was time to upgrade. So I said, screw it. Let me upgrade to the iPhone. And if I don't like it, I'll just get another phone. Yo, bro, I got the iPad. I got the watch. I got the AirPods. I got my Mac Pro for work. I got my Mac Air, my old one. I'm telling you, bro, it's a slippery slope. Because once you get one thing, you're going to want everything else to be seamless. And it's going to pull you in. And now I'm an Apple guy, bro. It's I don't know how I got to this place, but I'm here, bro. It's very scary.
So did y'all actually see read the interview on like it was IGN or The Verge?
No, it was Eurogamer, I thought, right? You talking about
Eurogamer? It was
Eurogamer?
everywhere. I saw it on The Verge. I read it on The Verge, but it was Tim Sweeney talking about the capabilities of the SSD that the PS5 have, right? That's the most advanced one on the market right now.
Yeah.
But he was saying something along the lines was like, yo, it's gonna help with like not only like like faster loading times or anything like that, but also like things like with like graphics and performance.
I'm about to read it.
Well.
I'm about to read it to you because you already know I was about to bring that up. So SSDs, right? SSDs has definitely been something that a lot of people I don't want to say don't believe in, but with what PlayStation was trying to sell people when Mark Cerny did his presentation, a lot of people weren't buying, right? I won't say a lot, but there were, the knuckleheads in social media, they weren't buying, right? So there was a lot of people, there were a lot of developers when Cerny did his presentation that were praising the SSD and talking about how big this is going to be for gaming and how important this is going to be for game development. Then you had another portion of people that were saying, yes, it's important, yes, it's big, but it's not overall what makes up development, which we all know and understand. But Tim Sweeney, he he did his interview or whatever, and he was talking about the SSD, and he was giving a lot of praise to it, right? So pretty much what he's saying here is a number of different components are required to render this level of detail, right? Offers Sweeney. One is the GPU performance and GPU architecture to draw in incredible amounts of geometry that you're talking about. A very large number of teraflops being required for this. The other is the ability to load and stream it efficiently. One of the big efforts that's been done is ongoing in Unreal Engine 5 now is optimizing the next generation storage to make loading faster by multiples of current performance. Now just a little bit faster, not just a little bit faster, but a lot faster, so that you can bring in this geometry and display it, despite it not all fitting in memory. Not all fitting in memory, taking advantage of next generation's SSD architectures and everything else. Sony is pioneering here. Sony is pioneering here with the PlayStation 5 architecture. It's got a god tier. Hold on, bro. Let me. Y'all gonna hear me today. It's got a god tier storage system, which is pretty far ahead of PCs.
Can I chime in just 1 second? Because I know you on to something.
I'm just reading what he said. That's all I'm doing. But I'm just adding a little flair to it. But I'm messing around. But go ahead.
Let me backtrack just a little bit. And if you want to pull up Mark Cerny's Road to PS5 for reference, he spoke about the I/O in detail. It's not just one component. He has a custom flash controller that has 6 priority levels, 12 channels. And that's one of the reasons why this SSD is able to move as quick as it can. Mm-hmm. Let's put this into perspective.
Uh-oh.
The Xbox Series X has 4 channels and operates the same as any other SSD that's in a PC. PCs don't even have these type of controllers built into the motherboards. It's impossible for them to do what the PlayStation 5 is capable of.
Say the second part. It's impossible for them to what?
It's impossible for them to do what the PlayStation 5 is currently doing. And Mark Cerny made it very clear, for them to even create something that could possibly keep up, it would have to be much, much faster than the drive that's in the PS5 for them to even be able to keep up with what the PS5 is capable of doing without having the same controller with the same optimizations. But not only that, he talked about the cache scrubber, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he was talking about how assets and things like that, different things that are stored in the GPU, how they're actually wiped out of the GPU in real time. So it doesn't have to, store that data, that unused data, and instead it frees up that area so that it can be used for something else, so that new data could be written in. Again, people didn't pay attention to what the fuck this man said. Yes, he's boring as fuck, but you shouldn't even have watched it if you weren't there for the tech talk, because that's what they said, a deep dive into the PS5. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what he gave.
So let me ask you a question, Sick. Oh, now you on a roll. I'm gonna let you go ahead. I don't want
no. Go ahead. Because you was reading the thing. So
no. I'm not going. I want to ask you a question. So would you say, in your honest opinion, that PlayStation 5 is a true next generational leap in gaming, based off what we know so far?
It's beyond a next generational leap because it's actually going to shape the landscape of how games are developed and designed.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
That's it's past. It has surpassed, because Xbox Series X is next gen, technically, in terms of hardware.
Yes.
But it's not doing anything different than the Xbox One X in terms of pushing technology forward. Now, here's the thing, Xbox fans. you can be reassured when Sony pushes this shit forward, the next iteration of the Xbox that you're going to buy, it's going to encompass or incorporate something similar to this. Microsoft has not pioneered a fucking thing except for ways to take money out of your wallet.
To this day.
That's why, me personally, they can get gone and I wouldn't even care.
Yo, you say you speaking facts.
Just,
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm using the
it
soundboard while you talking sick, so I'm trying to make it back.
I'm just saying, man.
No, you speaking facts, man. Yeah.
It seems like Microsoft, they just grabbed a bunch of components off the shelves and just put it and slapped it all together and say, here you go, here's next generation. Versus Sony are actually like trying to pioneer and trying to engineer something like unique and different that's going to push, like what Six said, game design forward and stuff like that. That's what it seems like. I don't know. I'm not a tech guy or anything or a developer, but that's what it seems like on the outside.
Let me give you another example. Let's go back a little bit. Let's go back to Rapid Pack Math. Yeah. Remember Rapid Pack Math in the PS4?
That sounds like a rapper name. Rapper Pack Math. I'm sorry.
Rapid Pack Math. Rapid RPD.
Yo, don't tell me Sick about to do a song on Rapid Pack Math.
RPM. Nah, hell no.
I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for Sick to put out that Rapid Pack Math rap. I'm waiting for it, bro. You know he gonna do it. You ready?
When he said that you could possibly have these, half precision floating points that are 16-bit floating points instead of 32-bit floating points, and they could be used to raise the performance of games, right? People said he was crazy. People said, oh, he's talking about PlayStation secret sauce, because they was upset that Microsoft had came out with the DX12, the second GPU, the Hovis method, all kind of weird shit that they was telling these niggas, and they was running back with. I had no idea what the fuck they was talking about, right? Mark Cerny said technically the PlayStation 4, could hit the performance of 8.4 T flops, right? Based on the half precision point, but of course the half precision isn't as accurate as the 32-bit floating points. And the funny part about all of this shit is that after all of that down talking these niggas been doing, even though we saw examples in Wolfenstein, we saw examples in Project Cars, we saw examples in Resident Evil 3, we saw examples where games perform better on the PlayStation 4 instead of the Xbox One X, and people can never figure it out, like what the fuck is going on. They even dropped the resolution of Resident Evil 3 down to what the PlayStation 4 was, and the PlayStation 4 was still performing better, and they couldn't figure it out. The architecture that's in the Xbox One X did not have rapid math capabilities. The Xbox Series X does, though.
So what you're saying essentially is that
24 T flops is what they
so essentially what you're saying, Sick, is the Xbox Series X is the Lamborghini and the PlayStation is the Honda Accord. Yeah, the Honda Accord is
it's the Nissan Skyline, my nigga.
Okay, let's use Nissan Skyline. The PlayStation is the Nissan Skyline, right? Now, granted, the Lambo may be faster and it may perform better, but the Skyline is what you're using to drive to work. It's more reliable.
Yeah.
You're going to take the Skyline out when you're going to work. The essential places that pays for the Lamborghini, which is your job, you're going to pull out the Skyline. So essentially, which one is more important? Skyline or the Lamborghini?
Well, I only said that to say this. This is how they're moving the industry forward with their technology. Okay. They're moving the industry forward by creating techniques or adopting techniques that other console makers, they're not thinking of, right? And I've always said that the PlayStation 4 Pro is a better system to me than the Xbox One X. Listen, I don't give a fuck if it runs Red Dead in 4K. Nigga, what the fuck does that do for me? You know what I mean? But it has been a very well-balanced system since it was released, and it hit its target of what it set out to do. It set out to make your PlayStation compatible with your 4K TV, right? It set out to give you more power for VR, which it did. It gave us more ways to play, with PlayLink. Well, I mean, of course, they did that on, the base PS4 as well. But I'm just telling you how PlayStation moved things forward.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Microsoft is okay with just staying stagnant. They're okay with not doing anything to move the industry forward, except for talk big, but not produce anything.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like that's one thing that I felt about the PlayStation. And again, we can give kudos to Microsoft and Xbox for being forthcoming with the information, even though them being in last place is kind of what pushed their hand to do that. My whole thing is
I can't.
Well, no,
You
only
can do
in
that.
that. No, of course not. Only in that instance do they get those kudos, though. Only for being forthcoming. And again, the reason why that's why I said because they're in last place, they kind of have to be. But I'm still going to give them that. I'll still give them that nudge. Fine, whatever.
Not even. Let me tell you why. Again, and I'm only going to come with facts. I'm not going to come with opinions or speculation. They have nothing left for this gen. Their gamers have nothing left. They have to do something to keep these motherfuckers chomping at the bit. Whereas PlayStation is like, look, we want y'all to play and enjoy The Last of Us 2. We want y'all to play and enjoy Ghost of Tsushima, which, by the way, 18 minutes of video is coming tomorrow.
I'm excited. Expect
Gameplay.
another podcast that's happening tomorrow. I'm hyped for that.
Gameplay.
I'm hyped for that.
Gameplay.
So that
we
is
about to get
happening.
next gen gameplay on the current gen console. Wait a minute, guys.
Now watch. You ain't gonna have to wait too much longer to get the information that you want. Again, I've always said, even if you get the information, what can you do with it until holiday 2020? There's nothing that you can do with it, Persona.
Debate.
Nothing, not a single thing. But who are you debating
Well,
with?
I'm not debating. I'm trying to brag. I'm sorry.
No, for sure.
I'm just trying to brag. That's all I'm trying to do.
For sure. No, I completely understand that.
I think for me, but to give a more serious answer, I think for me, and again, this is something I was saying yesterday. Looking at how in the beginning Microsoft was good with their messaging, and they were good with their market, with kind of being forthcoming with the information, showing off the console, things like that. Looking at that then and looking at where they are now is why I said maybe me being super on PlayStation to be more vocal so soon, I can dial that back a little bit. Not saying that they shouldn't be vocal, period. Like, they should definitely be saying things. And looking at how they're maneuvering, not just with this, but again with the Mark Cerny thing where they were breaking down that and things like this, I'm beginning to understand that the way they're moving is a bit more calculated. So I'm dialing back my want for them to be vocal more quickly, because I think it's you know that saying when they say whenever you expect something, it's always right on time. So I think with this situation with the PlayStation 5, when we do finally get the reveal, when we do finally get all of the information that we want, see the games and things like that, which again, the internet's going to explode that day. It'll be right on time. The information will be right on time. So I'm dialing back just a little bit. I still feel they need to be a tad bit more vocal. I like what they did with this Unreal Engine. I still feel they need to be just a tad more vocal and a tad more forthcoming with some next gen information. But you are right. What are we going to do with it right now when we still have games coming out? Those games, and that's something that I've said before. We can focus on these games and still also talk about next gen, because these games that are coming out, they're cemented, they're solidified. The sale is made. The sale is there already. They're going to buy the game.
I definitely agree with that whole waiting on them now. Like, you kind of dialing it back, because I was the same way too. Like, I was getting impatient, and I was like, "Yo, Sony, come on, like, show us something." Like, you know what I mean? Microsoft is coming around, giving us a bunch of information, and it's looking like Sony is barely giving us anything, even though they've given us a lot of information. But now with like this stuff was like the Sony presentation and the tech demo, right? Now that this is out the way, all that means is when we finally do get the actual presentation, like the full-blown reveal of the PlayStation 5, we already got all this, you know what I mean, boring stuff out the way. Even though it's very interesting and very useful information, we got the boring stuff out the way first, and then it's going to be all about the games. So yeah, like I'm the same way. I'd rather them take their time to get their messaging right than just, you know what I mean? Like Microsoft, yeah, they were getting their messaging right, and then boom, they stumbled. You know what I mean? They tripped their feet or whatever last week and stuff like that. So Sony hasn't really been doing that. You know what I mean? Even though a lot of people think that way because people are impatient. They just want to see games and stuff like that. But people don't understand that everything that we've been showing thus far regarding the PS5 and the information, yes, it benefits the developers more, but if it benefits the developers, then it benefits us, the gamers, as well, to get better games in the future.
But I think it also falls into the realm of um, you kind of sit back and let others make mistakes so that it's kind of like a learn from your mistakes type of
Yeah,
scenario
yeah,
here.
that too. Yep.
And again, eh, Microsoft started out good, or as good at, they started out good for their standards. I'll say that. Um, or what we're used to getting with Microsoft, I guess, compared to this, they started out good. But I think now, especially with this inside Xbox first impressions and things like this, um, they've got a little bit more work to do. And I'm glad, and this may sound messed up to people that are watching, some people that are watching, but I'm happy that Microsoft made these mistakes on PlayStation's behalf. Well, because when PlayStation sees things like this and sees how the community reacts, it gives them that one up to be like, okay, we need to handle this situation properly. We see what our competition did, that didn't work. We need to make sure that what we do present and what we do is of the highest quality.
So let me ask y'all a question. And this is a honest question. It's not a troll question. If Xbox is indeed more powerful than the PlayStation 5, right?
Yeah.
Why did Epic not partner with Microsoft in order to show off this exact same demo?
Yeah, and that's what like people don't
Yo,
understand.
that's a
And
good
like
question.
the no, but here's the thing: is like people are downplaying. Well, I'm just saying, like the fanboys are downplaying what Tim Sweeney and Epic Games are saying about the PlayStation 5, right? Because they're like, well, they have an exclusive game, Godfall, coming to it, and it's
But that's
PlayStation
not
games
Epic's game.
and stuff like. I know, but people, pretty much what people are trying to say is, oh, Sony and Epic, they have a partnership deal together, so of course Epic is gonna
How? Microsoft just put all their games on Epic Store.
yeah. And I'm just saying, this is what people are saying. This is not what I'm saying. This is just
Wait. You're talking about Xbots.
yeah,
Because
that's what I said.
when you
The
say
fanboys.
people, I think you're talking about the Xbots. Because this sounds
Yeah,
like
yeah,
some of
yeah,
their damage control. Oh, nah, I
yeah,
don't listen, I don't care what they say. But continue though.
yeah. No, but what I'm saying is like that's the only thing that they say is like, well, they have a deal, blah blah blah, or this game is exclusive to PS5, so of course they're hyping it up and stuff like that. But none of them can prove what they're saying wrong. Like it doesn't take away even if they do have an exclusive game coming to the PlayStation 5, it doesn't take away anything that they're saying about the PlayStation 5. You know what I mean? Like nobody can prove them what they're saying is wrong. They just say
But
that to make them feel better inside that the PS5 is a more advanced machines, right? Higher teraflops aside or CU account aside, is going to be a more advanced machine than what the Xbox Series X is going to deliver, and people don't
does
like to
it
hear that.
does it bother you when they say this stuff? Because I could hear it in your voice. Like it really sounds like it irritates the
No,
fuck out of you.
it's not that it bothers me. It's just I think that it's funny. I just think that it's funny and stuff like that. Well, you got to understand, right? I'm in a podcast, which I'm about to do. Actually about to leave right now because I got to go on that podcast. I'm in a
Mm-hmm.
podcast with a bunch of Xbox with a bunch of Xbox guys, right? And I'm not the savviest of tech knowledge or anything like that. So a lot of times I really can't rebuttal a lot of things. But this is always the thing that they always bring up. You know what I mean? The shit like this, and I know it's
But
going to be brought up tonight.
but nobody in that podcast is tech savvy. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, no, that's facts. That's
Not a
facts.
single one of them. So they can't tell you anything any more than you can tell them anything. Man, listen, fight the good fight, Chris.
Yo, Chris, my boy, man.
Hey, I stopped listening to them niggas a long time ago, bro. I don't even respect your opinion no more, dog. Like, you've been wrong so many times. You've been so wrong that now you just look goofy, and it turns out to just simply be entertainment. But
Yeah, that's right.
you know, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But yo, I actually gotta head out. I'm gonna go do my other podcast.
All right, bro.
Planet Xbox. I'm going to roast the fuck out of Snoop for his disrespectful comments that he made last week. Right?
Yeah, tell that man to
Calling
stop
all the PlayStation
spoiling.
guys musty and dirty and stuff like. Yeah, I'm gonna get
Tell
on
that
his
man
ass
stop
about that
spoiling
too.
that last
But-
too, man. That's clown shit.
But I'm going ham tonight, man. So
Yeah,
y'all
yeah.
want to tune in, y'all can. I'm going ham tonight, man. But appreciate Persona letting me
No,
on.
no doubt.
Shout out to
Of course.
For sure.
Sick, man.
It's always good when you hear my boy.
Of course.
Nah, it was always good. Listen, I always learn something new from you, Sick, every time you talk about this shit. So I appreciate, your knowledge on this stuff. And shout out to Sarge also in the chat.
Also, congrats
Oh,
on you got married, right? Congrats, man.
Oh yeah. I got
Oh
married.
yeah, word.
Congrats,
Yeah.
bro. Like, yo,
Yeah,
you
man.
from you from New York, Chris?
Nah, I'm from Florida.
Oh,
I live
okay.
in Texas, but I'm from
You
Florida.
look like a New York. I thought you was from New York when I see you. I'm like, wait a second.
You know why?
Is
You
he from
know
New
why?
York?
No. You know why I look New York to you? Because I'm Puerto Rican. You know,
No.
a lot of Puerto Ricans
I
are
didn't
from
want
New
to say
York.
that, bro.
No, but there's a lot of Puerto
man.
Ricans in
Yeah,
New
there
York,
is.
right?
Yeah, there is.
It definitely
yeah,
is.
There
That's
definitely
probably
is.
why.
Yeah, there is. But,
We
yo,
got the Cubans down here in Florida, my guy.
But yo,
The Cubans come to
congratulations
us.
to you and your
Nah,
wife.
there's a lot of
man.
Puerto Ricans in
It is.
especially Orlando, like where I'm from, or like I'm from like Orlando.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of there's a lot of people from the island
Yeah.
in general over there.
But
So,
congratulations
but yeah,
to
man,
you
y'all
and your
take it
wife,
easy.
man. Yo,
Yeah,
congrats,
appreciate it.
bro.
Thank
For
you,
real,
man.
No doubt.
Married life is great.
Of course.
Now I
man.
can do
Well-
whatever I want, play games whenever I want. She can't get rid of me.
Yes, you can.
Now you can
Yeah,
let
I'm gonna-
now you
look,
can let the gut
look,
out. You feel me?
Look, I'm gonna say, yeah, she can get rid of you and take the PlayStation too.
Bullshit. That's mine. I own that.
But no,
No.
welcome to the club, Chris, man. Enjoy.
Yeah, y'all have a good one, man.
You too, man.
Yeah, be easy.
Oh
man,
Court. What do you?
you been quiet as hell. What
Yeah,
was
Court.
No.
Court, you chilling,
I,
man.
I was here. I was just sitting up listening to Sick because I'm just sitting here looking on Facebook and I'm like, God, the level of stupidity right now is just.
it's monumental,
I
isn't it?
had to
Bruh,
leave Facebook,
it's like
man.
everybody's bringing up. Oh, when Assassin's Creed got announced at 30 frames a second, everybody had a problem with it. But now everybody just fine with a 30 frames a second tech demo.
Is
and
it a
I'm sitting
game?
there like,
Are we buying this in the store, guys? Come on, man. This is supposed to show
but
the capabilities.
but here's the thing, Persona. I go, yes, you get a taco later. But okay, popcorn, yes. But here's the thing. I keep going back to is what I stated at the very beginning. Because I'm like, I know damn well Assassin's Creed is not using 8K textures and movie level assets. It's not. So why are we even making that comparison to a tech demo right now?
Yeah.
So,
but the fact to even make the comparison to a tech demo, this is a tech demo. This isn't a game that anybody's buying, guys. Like the two are not. And some people may hear that and say, "Oh, it's biased." No, this is not a game that they're showing off for you to buy. They're showing you the capabilities of Unreal Engine 5.
Also, they put it together in 6 months.
Exactly. But
and I heard this was running on the old PS5 build. I don't know if that's right or wrong.
Thing. This was something that was supposed to be shown at GDC for everybody there, just like Cerny's conference was supposed to be at GDC. So when we see it, a lot of people just like, oh well, it's just a tech demo. I'm like, you have to take in the information and process and compare it to what Cerny's been saying. Like Sick has said, if you go back to the past and listen to Cerny's whole talk again, and then you compare it to what you just seen, you're like, that motherfucker wasn't lying at all. That motherfucker was telling you the truth the whole time, and y'all didn't want to fucking listen. Like, it's just seriously stupid how people just think Oh, he can't be right. This man done went and got PhD like for what? To sit here and lie to you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would a man that sat there and literally thought, okay, what's the best way to do this? Like, we all know the man created the PS4. We know what a damn PS4 could do. And it was the quote unquote weaker console, which, yes, on paper, when the Pro and the X came out, not when the 4 and the original Xbox came out. So on paper, yes, the PS4 is weaker, but you look at what those teams did with weak hardware, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
So you tell me if they can do that with weak hardware, and you're saying you're doubting them what they can do on next gen,
Mm-hmm.
and then a third party company just showed you what's possible on next gen.
Yo, that's a good point. Yo, wait. Let me stop you right there. That's a good point. That's a really, really, really good point. And you know why? Because and again, this goes back to something I was saying yesterday, right? With these games and your expectation, right? When you have $1 billion companies tell you lower your expectations, right? When you lower your expectations, whatever you lower your expectations to, when a game or whatever provides something that's within that lowered expectation range, there's no room for you to complain because what do you end up saying? Oh, it was a lackluster game, or it was lackluster whatever, but it doesn't matter because my expectations were low anyway. This is why I try to keep my expectations high when it comes to these games and these developers, because again, what do I always say, guys? You give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Nah, I'm not giving you no chances. I'm not giving you no breaks. My expectations is high. You want my dollars? You got to give me the quality, man. The quality's got to be there.
Nickelodeon. Bro, the Ghost of Tsushima stream is at 4 p.m. tomorrow.
4 p.m. Eastern?
Yeah.
Shit. I might be able to do live reactions on that.
Hey.
Real talk. I might actually do a live reactions on that, because I'll be pretty much winding down from work at that time. But that's why I say, my expectations is always high. So when it comes to the third party, there is no, last gen and this gen. Nah, man. I need quality. You feel me? You can't say, you can't go on a next gen showing me something that was created for last gen and then tell me to accept it next gen and not complain. You can't do that. I need things to be at a higher frame rate or a higher fidelity, quality, whatever. You got to show me why I need to buy this game on next gen consoles. You feel me? But again, we're not even in next gen yet. We're almost there. But when you look at current gen, and again, I'm going to keep using Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima, there's no excuse. There's no excuse.
Listen, Sony, like always, they pulled us into next gen. Now, here's my thing, right? Again, a question that needs to be asked right now. If Microsoft was just going to showcase a whole bunch of indie stuff, right? Now, nothing wrong with indies. Indies are great. Matter of fact, I'm playing an indie right now called Stranger Things. Indie game, very fun. Love it. But if they were using the Unreal Engine 5 or something of the sort, why didn't they show something? Anything. It could have been some type of cut that they just decided to show. Why didn't they show that running on the Xbox Series X? People don't ask these questions, bro.
I got a question for y'all, and I got a question for the chat too. And I want you guys to really answer this. Everybody in the chat, I want you to give me your honest answer, right? So, Inside Xbox last week was Inside Xbox, right? Sick? Am I right? Or was it week before? Last week? Okay.
Yeah.
It was last
week.
They didn't deliver there, right? They didn't deliver on providing a next-gen experience and letting people know why next-gen get an Xbox Series X. So my question is this. They're saying that the real first-party conference or showcase, whatever, is in July. Now, my question to everybody in the chat and to Sick and Sarge, my question to you guys is, if come July, you look at the first party lineup and you don't see next gen, or you don't feel that they deliver, what comes next for Microsoft?
Nothing. They'll say they seen it even if they didn't.
So if they don't deliver in July, what does that mean for Microsoft next gen?
People are going to make excuses. They're going to say they love what they saw, and they're going to say that it's next gen.
And it's going to be the waiting game for another however many years.
Black said death.
Yep. Then Microsoft is going to then hype up XO 2020.
But if they don't deliver in July, can they recover from that? Because that's the second time on next
gen. They haven't delivered since 2016. What you mean can they recover? Niggas have just got used to them failing.
Oh, Dan, I'm only at 582 582 subs. That's why you don't see a super chat yet. But if you guys can subscribe to your boy, get me to 1,000, we'll get that super chat popping off. You feel me? Anyway, go ahead, Sick.
Facts. Xbox will not be dead, bruh. Not at all. If they're not dead by now, how in the hell are they gonna die now? For a gen that hasn't even begun.
Do you think?
Hey, Persona.
Yeah, what's up?
I was just gonna say I gotta hop off. Gotta do this Zoom call with the church. So
okay.
I'll holler at y'all later.
All right, bro.
Peace
I
out.
appreciate you coming through, man.
No doubt, no doubt.
So then, when it comes to, and I love picking your brain about this shit because you give like these real well thought out answers. So that's why I like picking your brain about it. So, do you think the whole 2-year cross-gen creation with first party is a smart move
for
Xbox?
Whom?
Xbox, Microsoft, because they say that they're going to be creating games for every Xbox in the family for 2 years or something like that, right? They're not just abandoning everybody on Xbox One consoles.
Well, it's not that they're not abandoning everybody. They can't abandon them. That 50 million or 40 million or whatever they at right now, that's the bulk of their fan base. The rest of them niggas, it would be all new purchasers of the Xbox Series X. How many people you think they're gonna actually convince to buy the Series X?
So then out of that, so let's say Xbox is at 50 million. How many people, like, give me a number, like your estimate, how many people do you think will migrate at launch of the next gen consoles to an Xbox Series X day one?
I think they'll sell out at launch.
Okay, so if it's like 5 or 10 million, you think they'll get that 10 million sold out?
I don't think it's going to be 5 to 10 million consoles, but I think they'll easily do like 1 to 2 million.
Okay.
And rolling through the holidays, first, few months of January, February, they're probably gonna push maybe close to 5 million. Maybe close to 5 million, if not 5 million.
Okay.
And from there, it's like, so now do we cater to this 5 million, or do we still need to get this money from, the other 35 that was like, nah, I'm straight. I'm not upgrading.
So then, do you think it's again, give me break it down for me. Do you think it's smart for because PlayStation's talking about getting a much larger, earlier adoption of the next gen consoles? So when you hear something like that, that lets you know they're gonna be moving their talents to next gen. Like, I want to say almost immediately. Do you think it's a smart move for PlayStation with such a large fan base? I mean, we're talking, they just announced today 110 million consoles sold. Do you think it's smart for PlayStation to try to get as many early adopters as possible by moving majority, if not all, of their talents to next gen as quickly as possible?
Absolutely.
So you think it's
absolutely
it's a smart decision for them to do that?
If not, you're just going to have a whole bunch of games that are held back by the weaker system. It's very smart to go ahead and push forward with the next gen. Why not? Why in the fuck would you be wanting to stay with that same old ass hardware that didn't get you nowhere, from the beginning? For PlayStation, it's a little bit different because they sold buku amounts of PlayStation 4s, and they're still going to sell PlayStation 4s even after the PlayStation 5 comes out, because of course it's going to get a price drop, right? And they're going to still move PlayStation 4 units. But the simple fact of the matter is, the way they're going to market this thing is, and by the way, my Nostradamus skills was on point. It was on point because earlier today I said, damn, if Sony really want to shut the internet down, them niggas should just show us an example of those fast load times that that they were talking about.
Yeah. That end scene in the tech demo, that was it.
Exactly.
That was it.
Exactly.
As soon as I seen that, I was like, oh yeah, this is it. Yeah.
No, but I mean, the thing is, to be quite frank and quite honest, man, like, look, Sony is going to move you over to their new system because of their new games, right? Third party is going to continue to do what the fuck they do, right? Third party is going to do what they want to do. They're going to focus on whatever hardware they want to focus on, and the bigger number is the hardware they're going to focus on. We might get patches here and there for games to work on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, but it's not going to fully utilize the PS5 and Series X from a third party perspective until they really get the ball rolling. Now, Unreal Engine 5 is releasing in 2021. So
do you think that's a good idea? Because that's actually a good point. So with the 2021 release date, do you think it's a good idea to say that third-party developers will kind of be more confident and comfortable with moving to next gen a bit quicker with that Unreal Engine 5? Because clearly with Unreal Engine 5, they're making it to where no console suffers. That's what it sounds like.
The SDKs that they currently have now, they don't support the newer features that they're implementing, and that's kind of what Epic was preaching in their little marketing video that they had today. They were selling themselves to developers out there. They were telling people how it's going to make it easy for crossplay. It's going to make it easy for you to develop if you're on a low budget. You know what I mean? It's going to be easy for you to get assets and things for your games so that your games look freaking fantastic, even at a lower budget. That was this whole thing today was pretty much all Epic. Epic just used PlayStation in order to sell their engine. That's what. But people were gonna buy it. They were gonna convert over to the Unreal Engine 5 anyway.
Oh yeah.
But that whole video that we watched today, it was nothing more than a advertisement for Epic. That's all it was. But taking a look at everything and putting everything into perspective, I truly believe that the way that Sony is moving and what they're trying to do is the best. They're putting their best foot forward, right? Because you need to entice people to move over to your next gen system, and you're not going to do that with last gen or current gen games. So what are they supposed to do? Wait for the next 2 years before they actually start making games for their next gen platform?
See, but that's
what I mean. Like,
that's my thing. Because we know the first party is going to move over much quicker. But I think when it comes to the third party, because third party, a lot of third party developers do make great games that we also can't wait to play, especially on next gen hardware. My whole thing is when it comes to not just the Unreal Engine, but I just think the development process, period. The way the game looks, I think is the only part, and let me know if you agree or disagree, but I think the way the game looks is only part of the development process. And that's why when they showed the tech demo, and remember she went in that room with all the statues, and it was like 400 and something, 500 statues in there. My first question was, if these were humans, how would they act? And that rolls into the AI portion of the development. Like when it comes to next gen, I don't want us to get too souped up on looks, because again, I feel like the graphics will be there. But I also want the AI and how these characters in games react and how they perform and things like that. I think that's also going to be a big, like, very important in the game development. And I hope that they don't push that to the back all for the sake of making the game look as pretty as possible. You get what I mean?
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yo,
What's
my
up?
Oh,
bad,
Chris
man.
is
My shit
back.
don't. Yeah, my shit don't start. No, I'm an
I was
hour
gonna say I
behind,
thought
bro.
they
My
kicked
shit
you
don't
out because
start.
you was talking too much about that PlayStation, boy, giving it too much
Nah,
praise. They said you gotta go.
It's another hour. My bad. I misread the time, and I thought it was gonna be. It
Okay.
was BS. I'm Central Time, so I thought it was gonna be 6:30, but it's 7:30 my time. No, so I got more time for this shit.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely. Like the main thing that I always ask for, going into each generation for like the longs, even when I was like a teenager, right, going into like new generations, is always improvement in AIs, right? AIs, NPCs, whatever you want to call them, is because that is what's going to make the games. To me, that's part of the gameplay, right? It's not just what you do as far as with the controlling the character and the animations, but also the AI is what helps out a lot with the gameplay. So one of the things that they brought up in that I don't know if y'all guys brought it up, but one of the things that they brought up in the tech demo was the whole how like the AI itself is smart, that when she was crawling, like she's like trying to detect like which is the best like rock or ledge or something to grab onto, versus before when they would design games. I mean, it was just straightforward. Like they purposely put these rock stairs for the character to crawl up. You know what I'm talking about? That part of the tech demo.
Yeah. When it would make like it felt more realistic the way you were climbing.
Yeah, because the AI is actually like picking and choosing.
Which one to
You
go?
know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Which rock or which ledge to actually grab onto, and they designed that to actually be, like like realistic and fully climbable, versus like, okay, like like the Uncharted games, it's they specifically have like these points where Nathan Drake is going to have to grab, has to grab onto it. Like there's no, he's not going to have like any type of choice to like maybe move to like a certain direction or another direction. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I definitely, AI is definitely the biggest thing. AI and level designs
Yeah.
are my two most requested features for next generation, right? It's never been about graphics or anything like that, because I already know we're gonna get improved graphics. Like that's a given. That's easy, right?
I won't say it's never been about graphics. I mean, I do think graphics do matter to us to a certain
No,
extent.
what I mean by that is no, graphics is important. Trust me, I'm not one of those people that says graphics isn't important. Graphics is very important, but what I mean is my concern for next generation isn't about getting better graphics, because I know for a fact that we're gonna get better graphics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My main concern is better AIs and better level designs and better physics and animations that helps out with the actual gameplay.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah. What about you, Sick? What are your main what, like, in terms of game development? What what is your like top? Give me your top three things that you want to either see improved or you want to see get better.
Um, man, physics in games for sure.
Yeah.
Because I think the physicality of a game, I think that's overall, the most important aspect of it.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, graphics, man, listen. I already know these artists, these designers, man, they're going to go next level when it comes to this next gen hardware, So I'm not worried about graphics at all.
Yeah.
I would totally wish that they would, focus on performance. Look, man, it's great to have a pretty picture to take screenshots and shit like that, but come on, fam. Like what about actually playing the game? Right? Playing the game is more important than
Yeah, we
taking
ain't Xbox
screenshots.
guys. We ain't, we ain't
It's more
PC guys. We
important.
ain't taking pictures of rocks and stalagmites and all that. We try to play
No,
the game too.
and it should be a standard that you have a 30 frames per second mode and a 60 frames per second mode at least.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to
Absolutely.
go up to 120 or 240 or 3 something, knock yourself out. But I just want 60, my guy. Like just 60 consistently, my nigga, and I'll be good.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Like even with this generation, and I honestly I can't even speak about next generation, so I'm not going to prematurely speak on it. But right now at the beginning, it's not looking good. It's not looking good at the beginning, but that can most certainly change once they, fully focus on next gen hardware, and that's from a third party aspect.
Yeah, we haven't seen first party yet, so we can't really judge that too hard yet.
Right.
I need to see what Horizon, Spider-Man, God of War, all these different games. I need to see what they're cooking with this console. That's when we'll truly be able to understand. Okay, this is the bar.
They have no more excuses. You no longer have the Jaguar.
Yeah, no,
No,
there's no excuse
no
anywhere.
longer.
Realistically, there's no excuse anywhere within this console, in my opinion.
You got a beefy GPU with new architecture. You have um a nice CPU, Ryzen 2 or Zen 2. And you have a shit ton of memory, right? That's the biggest thing, right? That's the reason why they were even able to load those 8K assets and shit. You know what I'm saying? Now they have enough memory bandwidth. They have enough memory itself in order to be able to load these assets. So I truly, truly think that next generation is going to be great. I'm already, after watching this video today, like my hype came back a little bit. It
Okay.
came back a little bit, just a little bit, right? Because I was looking at, this, like, I hate to like sound like I'm harping on Xbox, but that shit was terrible.
Yeah.
That shit was
But yo,
terrible.
you
Because
want somebody to be critical though, constructive
yeah, but
criticism.
everything we saw, it felt like it could run on the current gen consoles.
Yeah.
No,
Everything.
it is though.
Yeah.
It is running
Well,
on the
their
current.
whole
A lot
thing
of
was
those games are
a smart buy infomercial. So
smart.
Yeah, but I
Except that
mean,
except that one game,
the
the one that's
medium,
kind of like Silent Hills,
the
the
medium.
medium,
Yeah.
which a lot of people taking L's on that because I've been saying, right, and I thought this is pretty much basic common sense, but you know how these people are like a lot of these people don't have basic common sense. Even me, as somebody who doesn't know a lot of the tech mumbo jumbo, like I'm a tech illiterate, I knew that games that are made for old generation, right, or old hardware and new hardware, that the old hardware is going to hold the game back, not when it comes to graphical fidelity or anything like that, right, or even performance, but when it comes to actual game designs that they won't be able to achieve on these old hardwares with these weak Jaguar CPUs and stuff like that. And I've been saying that. I was like, arguing with my fellow buddies about that and stuff like that. But like, no, it's not gonna hold back, blah blah blah. And then what you call it, the medium comes out on their Twitter, right? Somebody asked them, "Hey, is this gonna be on the Xbox One?" And they said, "No, it's coming exclusively to the Series X because the gameplay mechanics that are designed in this game cannot be done on old generation."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, and that's an Xbox Series X game. They're making a game, a console exclusive game. Is for the Series X, and this is what I've been trying to tell people. Like when we talk about games being held back with old hardware, we're not necessarily talking about resolution, right, or in graphics and performance. We're talking about actual game designs and gameplay mechanics
Mm-hmm.
that the last gen can't do it, right? Like last gen can't run Red Dead 2. 360 and PS3 is impossible.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The game has so many computing factors to it and shit like that. So that's good news, right? I told him I was like, yo, this is good news that this game is being built from the ground up only to run on the Series X and not on the One X or anything like that. So when Sony finally comes through, because a lot of their games, I'm not gonna say every single one of their games, but I'm pretty confident that most of their big first party games, like your Horizon, God of War, has been built from the ground up specifically only for the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4 and 4 Pro is not gonna hold it back whatsoever
My
with
junk
like the
about to be a
Jaguar or anything.
paperweight.
Yeah, exactly. So the only thing is like the third party games, right?
Yeah.
Because like Sik was saying, it's like yeah, that last presentation there wasn't really a lot of whole like next gen. I mean, the Bright Memory Infinite that game graphically that game looked cool. Like it could be running, on the next gen like Series X or whatever. But everything else is like yeah, it's like current gen, and it is a lot of it was current gen and cross gen.
Yeah.
So even though some of those games, I'm not gonna say every single game was trash that was showing because it wasn't because Scarlet Nexus looked good. Super hyped for Yakuza 7. That top down shooter one, that one looks pretty good. You know what I mean? So some of these games are had some interesting, but it wasn't really hyped up as next generation games like what they were saying before. Or we're gonna go look at next generation Series X gameplay, but we didn't really get that.
Yeah. All right, my fault. I was reading something. Yo, shout out to my boy. So the one I'm about to read here, it's a little excerpt from the interview with Tom Sweeney. Tim Sweeney. Tim Sweeney. Tom or Tim? Tim right?
Sweeney.
Tim Sweeney. Okay. And he says, we've been working super closely with Sony for quite a long time on the storage architecture and other elements. It's been our primary focus, but Unreal Engine 5 will be on all next-gen platforms, and so will Fortnite, he said. He added, Sony has done an awesome job of architecting a great system here. It's not just a great CPU, and they didn't just take the latest PC hardware and upgrade it upgrade it following the path of latest resistance. The storage architecture in PlayStation 5 is far ahead of anything that you can buy in any PC for any amount of money right now. It's great to see that sort of innovation. It's going to help drive future PCs. They'll see this thing ship and realize, wow, with 2 SSDs, we'll have to catch up. Yo, I mean, for anybody that has good reading comprehension, if you read between the lines, he's pretty much comparing PlayStation that I feel like this is a PlayStation to Xbox type comparison. Sick, Chris, what do you think? Am I wrong?
I don't think that was specifically for the Xbox One X versus PC. But PC is, of course, more powerful than even the Xbox Series X. So, of course, that's included. They just can't sound like they play in favorites, which is why they mentioned PC and not Xbox.
PC, yeah, because PC is neutral, but it does apply to the Xbox Series X as well.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? What they were saying. And plus, like, also, like, the whole thing, because you read the part where it says it's like, yo, it's going to help with graphics and performance, right?
I was about to read that next.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So Epic CEO Tom Sweeney has some choice words about PS5 that came from an actual understanding of the hardware itself instead of marketing hype speak. Unreal Engine 5 is really a graphical leap or more in technological capabilities. The hardware that Sony is absolutely phenomenal. Not only an unprecedented amount of graphics power, but also a completely new storage architecture that blows most past architectures out of the water and is far ahead of even the state-of-the-art highest-end PCs you can buy. Sony is pioneering here with the PlayStation 5 architecture. It's got a god-tier storage system, which is pretty far ahead of PCs. On a high-end PC with the SSD and especially with the NVMe, you get awesome performance too. So, I mean, again, not saying that PCs. I'm saying it. Fuck it. PCs need to catch up.
They do have to catch up. Look, there's no question about it. PC is a modular system. You're going to be able to take out parts. You're going to be able to, replace parts. You're always going to have a leg up or an edge up with the PC, but they can't put the IO system from PlayStation in a PC.
Facts.
Therefore, they won't be able to keep up with the PC. I mean, they won't be able to keep up with the PlayStation 5. It just is what it is. It is what it is. Call it what you want. People can complain all they want. They can talk shit all they want. But the fact of the matter is, you ain't going to be able to do nothing about it.
PC players, this is for you. PC players,
but not right
this
now.
is for
I mean,
you.
eventually these parts are going to be available for the PC, correct?
No.
So the SSD will be available.
Yeah,
the SSD won't be available. Not the one that's in the PS5.
No,
eventually it will though.
They will have. No, it's y'all not understanding. That's why I'm trying to explain it to y'all. It's not the SSD that makes this thing super fast like this. It's a combination of the SSD as well as the controller to be able to hit these read and write speeds. That's not going. Mark Cerny actually hit that point as well. because he was talking about it. He was like, we didn't just take parts from a PC and put it in the PlayStation. You know what I mean? And he said, yes, some features from the PlayStation will come to the PC, but it's not going to be what's in the PlayStation 5. So it'll be capable of doing those read and write speeds. It just won't be capable of doing what the PlayStation 5 can do. Because again, the PlayStation 5 has 6 priority levels. So, you know, different things can do different things simultaneously. So let's say this. Let's say you're programming an AI that has a weapon and they're shooting at you, right? So it's going to be able to process everything, all of the bullets, everything that's flying at you, you know, and it's no matter what, it'll be able to set another priority level for something else going on outside of what you're currently looking at in front of you. So it's more to it than just throwing a SSD inside of your system, because there are NVMe drives right now that can hit 5 gigabytes right now on PC.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
They
that's what I
just
was talking
can't
about,
do
yeah.
what the PlayStation can't. They just can't do what the PlayStation can do. PC niggas won't tell you that. Of course, they'll play stupid, but they know. Because we don't have that shit right now. We still got pop in, nigga.
But some of them don't know. Some of them really don't know. Like,
oh man, I can't wait for next gen.
Yeah, it's gonna be something crazy.
I'm excited to just see I can't wait for digital.
No, yeah. What I was gonna say, I was talking just about like the SSD itself. Like, there is gonna be SSD that the P, or I mean, like he's saying, is available right now, right? Right, and there's gonna be, of course, SSDs that are faster, that are produced, you know, off the market, or you know what I mean, on the shelves or whatever. But guess what? Like, the way that Sony built this console is we'll be able to get those SSDs, right? Like any of those like off the shelf SSD, right? They got to be approved first, but they're going to come in, you know, they're going to keep coming, and we can pick and choose which one we want to get and also stick them into the PS5 versus the Series X. You have to buy the little memory card, the SSD memory card. You can't use an external, you know, off the shelf SSD and put it in this. I think Microsoft shot themselves in the foot with that one, to be honest with you.
It depends on the pricing.
It depends who you ask.
The reason why I say that is because you got to remember, niggas was buying a 20 gig hard drive for like $100.
Yo, and that was what 10 years ago, 12 years ago. You know, we just now coming through. You know.
Yeah.
But yo, guys, this has been such a informative, great show. Like I love this. I'm hungry and I'm tired.
Same.
Yeah, for real. But yo, we're gonna get into the outros, man. Starting with you, Chris.
Well, I already said my outro before, so I'm not gonna say the whole thing over again. But yeah, everybody, you know, it's exciting time for games. Don't worry, Sony's gonna show up. They're gonna do their own event. From what I hear, it's June. That's not confirmed, right? So don't expect that or take it with a grain of salt. But a lot of people on the inside, right, like the Jason Schreier and stuff like that, are pretty much saying for June. Hopefully, we get a confirmation tomorrow after the Ghost of Tsushima gameplay demo.
I doubt it.
Yeah, probably not. They're probably just gonna show the demo and that's it. But yeah, tune in tomorrow for that Ghost of Tsushima, because that's definitely looking like a game of the year contender. I'm very excited about that. And yeah, y'all could catch me live on Planet Xbox at 8:30 if y'all want to, 8:30 Eastern. And I'm gonna roast the fuck out of Smooth and everybody else on that podcast. So
hey, I got a question for you.
Yeah, what's going on, bro?
Not you, but y'all in general. Did y'all see the new story trailer, the inside the story for The Last of Us Part 2?
No, I didn't watch that yet. I'm gonna watch that tonight. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that tonight.
I'm probably not gonna watch it if it's.
How was it? Was it good?
Yeah, it's 4 minutes.
Okay, it's quick.
Yeah, it's 4 minutes. So I'm definitely gonna watch that. I heard that they were gonna drop it today, but I didn't know when.
Yeah,
I definitely need to see that.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely watch that tonight as well.
I think they already dropped it.
Yeah, they dropped the first part 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
They dropped part 1 today. I think every week leading up to the game, they're gonna drop a part or something like that. But yo, Sid, give a shout out, bro. Sick Humor TV.
Oh yeah, man, I'm chilling, man. You already know what it is, bruh. You already know what it is, bruh.
Definitely.
shout out to y'all, man. Thank y'all for coming through and supporting the homie Persona. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, man. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. We on the road to a K. On the road to a K.
For sure.
But it's definitely been real, man. I got shit to do. I got to take a piss. I got to get back to Stranger Things 3 yeah. Thank you for having me, Persona.
Of course, man. You know, so you're always welcome. You and Chris.
For sure.
Yo, big shout out to everybody that came here. Shout out to Chris Righteous, man, and big shout out to Sick Humor.
Oh, one more thing, man. I just want to give a shout out to PS Now because I'm playing that Control. It's all right so far. I'm digging it so far. I'm getting more powers and stuff like that. But right after that, I'm gonna play Tomb Raider and stuff like that. So, for people who think that PS Now isn't a good service, that's a lie because they've been providing us with a lot of great quality games, a lot of great quality third-party games, and you don't have to stream them. A lot of them you can just download them or whatever. So I just wanted to, say that it is a good service if anybody is thinking about getting into it. It's not that expensive. It's like $10 a month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I do. I'll pay $10 whenever they ask me games. I'll pay $10. I'll play a couple of those games, beat them, and then when there's nothing else I want to play, I just cancel it until they add something more.
Yeah.
Wow. That man got the Game Pass logic on PlayStation now. Shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh, man.
All right. I'm getting out of here. Y'all be easy.
Be safe,
Deuces.
Big shout out to Chris Righteous and Sick. Make sure you guys check out Sick Humor TV. He do the PlayStation Plus podcast, and he do a bunch of other podcasts on his channels. Make sure you guys check him out. Also, man, big shout out to everybody that came through today. Absolute MMA, Vedger, Wolflow, Social Joins, Impatient Fire, Jamar Bates, Chris Righteous in the chat. I know I saw Vanny Pan. Shout out to my boy Vanny Pan, Rome Rush, Cyber Dragon. Who else came through? Yo, my boy Wavy in the building. Shout out to Wavy. Big shout out. Who else is here? El Matador in the building. Big shout out to El Matador. Big shout out to Jay Bari. Harry Tran. Appreciate you coming through, man. Who else came through? Mook Allen. Appreciate you coming through. Who else came through? Who else? I'm going through the chat, guys. I'm looking. Who else? Pitch Black. Shout out to Pitch Black. It's my boy. Appreciate him coming through. Cypher Borg. Appreciate you coming through, bro. Big shout out to you. Who else? Guapzilla in the building. Big shout out to Guapzilla. Dan Tran. Appreciate you coming through. Who else came through, man? There's a lot of y'all today, man. Ooh, this chat was lively. Ooh, T-Mang Fu in the building. Big shout out to T-Mang. Appreciate you coming through, bro. Who else was here? Who else? I think I said Rome Rush. Shout out to Rome Rush. I know Buck Rogers was here, one of the first ones here. Big shout out to Buck Rogers. I know he probably still watching. He probably just lurking. But shout out to Buck Rogers. To Sorry Great. Appreciate you coming through, man. Rollo God. Appreciate you coming through. Who else came through, man? There's a lot of y'all today. Ooh-wee. Jay Bari in the building. The best lips on YouTube. Appreciate you coming through, bro. Das Misi, appreciate you coming through. Who else? Yo, I'm gonna call all y'all out, man. It's gonna get to a point though where it's gonna be too many of y'all in the chat. I ain't gonna be able to call all y'all out. One day, right, guys? One day. But yo, man, I really do appreciate everybody that was here. To all the lurkers, appreciate the lurkers. Oh yeah, Wolflow. I see you, Wolflow. Wolflow in the building. Appreciate you, Wolflow. Thank you so much for coming through, man. Yo, man, I appreciate all the support today. I was checking my phone, getting a lot of subscriptions, so I really thank everybody that did subscribe to the podcast. Thank you guys so much. To anybody that was just lurking and just listening, driving home from work, we appreciate the essential workers out there doing the Lord's work. Anyone, riding on the bus or train, going home, just listening to the podcast, not really typing. All the lurkers that was in the chat, I really, really appreciate you guys as well. I do hope you guys do consider liking and subscribing to the podcast if you haven't already. And, make sure you guys subscribe to Jay Bari's channel as well. The link to his channel is in the description. Also, if you want to join a safe and welcoming Discord community, make sure you guys consider joining WPS crew. The link to the Discord is in the description as well. And we are a safe community for all gamers of all different types. So if you like Xbox, if you like PlayStation, if you like Nintendo, even if you like PC, we welcome everybody to the Discord. You are definitely welcome, so make sure you click the link to the Discord in the chat. Also, make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at Persona Speaks. The link to my Twitter is in the description as well. Keep up with me on Twitter, because that's when you'll know when I'm going to be streaming. What else? Yeah, guys, next gen is here. PlayStation is the best. Big round of applause for everybody in the chat. Right, round of applause for you guys. You guys are awesome. Round of applause for people that came through to the Discord to chop it up with your boy. Oh yeah, Sarge0079. You know. And you know what? One more round of applause for y'all in the chat, man. Appreciate y'all support, man. Y'all are so awesome. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are awesome. But your boy's about to get up out of here. I'm about to eat something because I'm hungry. And I'm going to play some games for a little bit. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I will be streaming because I'm definitely going to be playing Ghost of, I'm not playing, but I'm going to be, we're going to talk about that Ghost of Tsushima gameplay tomorrow. And we're going to break that down. We're going to really get into that gameplay trailer. I'm really excited. So tomorrow, check you guys, 6 o'clock, same time, same place. And we out. Peace.